Donald Trump's Deputy Director of Communications, Margot Martin, just posted this photo on her social media account showing the venue where Donald Trump gave that speech yesterday in Phoenix at Dream City Church. And I think what she inadvertently showed is that even when Donald Trump was speaking, this was not a full crowd, even with this controlled environment at this church in Phoenix and this event that was promoted by Charlie Kirk of Turning Points USA. You see, if you actually zoom in on this photo, you'll see lots of empty seats there. If you start looking towards the balcony, you'll see there's a lot of empty seats. Even if you look towards where Donald Trump is speaking from, even some of the closer seats, you'll see that there are many empty seats right there. And this has been a pattern that we've been seeing at Donald Trump's speeches. I understand that Trump's campaign spreads the propaganda that there are 100,000 people that show up when there's actually less than 10,000 people, like Wildwood, New Jersey event, or at the Bronx event where they said there was 25,000 people, but there was less than 3,000 people. Heck, the Republican candidate for senator from New Jersey, who Donald Trump endorsed at the Wildwood, New Jersey event, and as part of that purportedly massive crowd that was supposed to show his strength, even his endorsed candidate for the Republican nomination for the Senate seat in New Jersey lost in the primary last week. I want to talk about something else as well that went down at that Dream City Church event that Donald Trump spoke at. Just think about it this way also, though. The fact that you even have a political candidate giving speeches in churches all the time, like Donald Trump and these MAGA Republicans do, but okay. But let's take a look at this Dream City Church in Phoenix for a second. Dream City Church is described on its own website as a community of people united in our common mission to gather as God's people, grow in understanding of God's word and grace, and reach out to serve others in Jesus' name. And you see right there, it talks about uniting people in a common mission with the understanding of God's word and grace. Grace is the word it uses. Okay, well, at this speech, which we now showed you was not fully attended, what were they doing at that church? What were they saying at Dream City Church? What was the chant? Well, Donald Trump encouraged the crowd to start chanting curses and curse words during the speech that he gave. So I just want you to think about this. A convicted felon is the leader of the Republican Party. That convicted felon goes into a church in Arizona to give a speech, and in that church leads a rally of cursing over and over again. Let me just show you what went down. Play the clip.
So they come up with something that's fake, just like everything else they do. It's all fake. The impeachments are fake. The court cases are a disgrace to our country. Everything is fake. So they come up with this order. I won't say it because I don't like using the word bullshit in front of these beautiful children. So I won't say it. I will not say it. But this thing allows millions of people.
One commentator, Jennifer Erin Valent, says, I grew up in a Baptist church and school. Both entities were so uptight about language, I got in trouble more than once for saying crap. I'm confident this display wouldn't have happened then. Let's not kid ourselves. The church hasn't changed Trump. Trump has changed the church, Jennifer says. And whether it's a church or not a church, another religious institution, no institution at all, this type of behavior, cursing over and over again like that at a political rally for the highest office of our land, is something that is so utterly despicable. Let's just take a look too at the Dream City Church About Us page. It says that it's about loving people. Whether you are a longtime follower of Christ, a new believer, or wanting to know more about the Christian faith, you are loved and welcomed at Dream City Church. Unless you speak another language, then Donald Trump mocks you at that church. despite the fact that Donald Trump's first wife is Czech. His third wife is from Slovenia. Neither speak English as their first language, but Donald Trump wants to attack people who speak different languages as part of his speech at the church. Play this clip.
The instructors talking English, and they have somebody speaking, in some cases, languages that we'd never even heard of. You know, there are a lot of languages that we don't have here. We have nobody that even speaks these languages.
If you take a look at the Dream City Church About Us page as well, it talks about cultivating community and inspiring hope. It talks about values of giving and growth and gifts. Okay, well, Donald Trump steals. He's been found to have engaged in civil fraud. Donald Trump is a convicted felon. And as you talk about cultivating community and inspiring hope, Donald Trump's speech was just about whining. All he did was talk about how his trial in New York, he claims, was rigged, and because he's a convicted felon. Play this clip.
I just went through a rigged trial in New York with a highly conflicted, and I mean highly conflicted, judge, where there was no crime.
Going back to the original post from Margot Martin, which highlighted the empty crowd right here, I think it's also worth noting that this is not some anomaly right here. If you take a look at the overhead view from Donald Trump's Bronx speech, in a city of over 8 million people, where Donald Trump and the right-wing media and even the corporate media spread the propaganda how big the crowd is, here is an overhead shot from a helicopter during the speech. At its peak, you could see Donald Trump speaking right there and just letting you know that high school football games draw bigger crowds than this right here. Then the MAGAs all want to talk to you about the Wildwood, New Jersey event and what a big crowd that was. As we said, the entire venue could hold 20,000 people outside. There was less than 10,000 there because it was less than half full if you actually take a look at it. And then people left in the middle of the speech. Of course, corporate media didn't report on it, but here it is right here.
A tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Poor thing, she sighed.
Hey everyone, so I recently got back from a trip to Japan, and let me just tell you, it was an eye-opening experience in more ways than one. One of the biggest revelations? Bidets. I couldn't believe what we were missing out on here in the US without them. I mean, we are truly living in the past. Speaking of which, did you know that men spend over twice as long in the bathroom? Yeah, that includes dad. All that wiping and straining can cause hemorrhoids, and toilet paper only makes it worse. Give the guy a refreshing shortcut with a Tushy bidet. Washing with Tushy's precise, clean stream of water soothes dad's behind while removing 99% of the nasty particles furious wiping leaves behind. So, Tushy sent me one of their amazing bidets to try out, and I have to say, there is no going back. Unlike with toilet paper, you actually feel clean and refreshed. There was also this one time on another trip where I really could have used the Tushy travel bidet. My friends and I were hiking in the mountains, and the public restrooms were, let's just say, less than ideal. Having that travel bidet would have made a world of difference. If you're thinking about trying the Tushy Travel, it has a 3-stream nozzle for a total clean and a new air mesh bag for discreet travel and faster dry time. Plus, it comes in 5 new colors. For those looking for a more permanent solution at home, Tushy has the best options for bidets that attach to your existing toilet. The install is so easy, anyone could do it under 10 minutes. If I can, you can. And trust me, these 10 minutes will truly change your life. The Hello Tushy bidet uses fresh water, the same as your shower or sink, never from the bowl, to give you a precise clean. It's simple to use, even for first-time users. So sit back, relax, spray to clean, and pat dry. It cuts down on your toilet paper use by 80%, saving money and your plumbing. No more clogging up toilets. It's the chemical-free way to clean your skin. Even if you use wet wipes, you're still smearing particles around and introducing nasty chemicals to your skin. Plus, it prevents particles from spreading to your hands and everything you touch. Make the restroom your best room with the complete Tushy system, including the Tushy bidet attachment, ottoman, toilet brush, and Tushy stand and tissues. Give Dad a break from wiping and get him to join the 2 million butts who already switched to Tushy. And for a limited time, our listeners get 10% off their first bidet order when you use code Meidas at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at HELLOTUSHY.com with promo code Meidas, MEIDAS.
And then we've been covering the various Trump speeches, whether it was the March 27th, 22nd, 2022 speech at a Georgia event. You can see the empty seats there. Donald Trump's January 2024 speech in New Hampshire. You can see the empty seats right there. A December 2023 speech in New Hampshire. You can see the empty seats right there. A July 2023 speech in Pennsylvania. You can see empty seats here. Here, play the video of that.
Consider it actually a great badge of honor. A great badge of honor. Because I'm being indicted for you.
But that's not the propaganda you will hear from Donald Trump's spokespeople like Caroline Leavitt, who go on and, they'll say, it's 100,000, 25,000, and the media runs with it. Here's what Trump's spokesperson says about the Bronx event where I just showed you the overhead view and the Wildwood rally, which now we know which we said at real time, but we know it was less than 10,000. Here, play this clip.
That's why he pulls a crowd of more than 25,000 in the deep blue Bronx. That's why he pulls a crowd of more than 100,000 in deep blue New Jersey. Everywhere he goes, everyday Americans, not elitist, out-of-touch Hollywood actors like Robert De Niro, who have no idea the real problems that people in this city and across this country are facing.
But it doesn't matter to them. It's just lie, lie, lie. Say whatever. It doesn't matter at all. At least here, a month or so back, a Fox host called out Caroline Leavitt and the Trump campaign for their cursing and the use of language. And they said, look, calling people names like this, do you think this is effective? Do you think this is appropriate for a leader? And just watch what Caroline Leavitt says. Play this clip.
Okay, Caroline, I've got a complaint. I know the campaign wants to win over Nikki Haley's voters, but I don't think you do that with name calling. For example, I take issue with Trump's new nickname for California governor, calling him New Scum. I don't think that's a good idea. I object to that kind of language. How about you?
Well, I think that what Governor Gavin Newsom has done to the once great state of California is terrible. You see real scum, real homeless people all over the streets.
Excuse me, are you okay? Are you saying it's okay to bring that kind of language to a presidential campaign? New scum? That's okay?
I think the real problem here, Stu, is the policies of the deranged Democrats from Gavin Newsom to Joe Biden
I think your
that have destroyed
campaign has
American
a problem with
communities
language
across
like
this
that.
country.
You don't agree with me, but I think your campaign has a problem with language like that.
Well, I don't think voters respectfully agree with you either, Stu. If you look at the resounding wins that President Trump has received across the board.
You think you're going to win over Haley voters with language like that, do you? You win over moderates and women with language like that? Really?
I'm also reminded, of course, as Donald Trump gives this speech at Dream City Church in front of not a full crowd. And just when you compare that, by the way, to President Biden, who actually goes to church once a week quietly, doesn't rub it in people's face. President Biden understands the separation of church and state. He's a religious man, but he doesn't force his religion down anybody's throats or down into anybody's home. That's not who Biden is. But never forget this, when Donald Trump couldn't name a single verse from the Bible. Remember this? Play this clip.
Okay. You mentioned the Bible. You've been talking about how it's your favorite book. And you said, I think last night in Iowa, some people are surprised that you say that. I'm wondering what one or two of your most favored Bible verses are and why.
I wouldn't want to get into it because to me that's very personal. You know, when I talk about the Bible, it's very personal, so I don't want to get into verses. I don't want to get into.
There's no verse that means a lot to you that you think about or cite?
The Bible means a lot to me, but I don't want to get into specifics.
Even to cite a verse that
you
like?
No, I don't want to do that.
You're an Old Testament guy or a New Testament guy?
Probably equal. I think it's just an incredible. The whole Bible is an incredible. I joke. Very much so. They always hold up the Art of the Deal. I say my second favorite book of all time. But I just think the Bible is just something very special.
Or remember this when Donald Trump talked about 2 Corinthians? Here, play this clip.
Christianity, and I can say that. I don't have to be politically correct, or we're going to protect it. You know? And I asked Jerry and I asked some of the folks, because I hear this is a major theme right here, but 2 Corinthians, right? 2 Corinthians 3:17, that's the whole ball game. Where the Spirit of the Lord, right? Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. And here there is Liberty College, but Liberty University, but it is so true. You know, when you think, and that's really, is that the one? Is that the one you...
And since we're talking about all of Donald Trump's failed events, it's worth me just reminding you of this moment too from the Libertarian convention where Donald Trump was booed recently. Play the clip.
Then right now, in this election, we need your help. We need your support. When I'm in the White House, you will always find an open door to the Oval Office. Together...
There you have it, folks. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million subscribers together.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.